we're going to look at the minor blues scale, give a few examples of songs that use it, do a bit of a jam with it, but first of all, we're going to learn it. It's going to sound like this. So make sure you've got your PDF file printed out in front of you or on a screen somewhere that you can watch that and use it as a reference with the diagram. And then later we're going to maybe put some overdrive on, put a backtrack on, and give a demonstration of what it can sound like in the jam. Something like this, for example. Here we go, minor blues scale. Sounds okay. Okay. Now let's first of all learn the shape. So I'm just going to change the focus a bit here so we can see the fretting hand. We can go through the scale shape itself as written on your PDF, starting at fret number 5. I'm going to call out the frets as we play it through. Fret 5, 8. Then we're going to go 5, 6, 7 onto 5, 7, and then again 5, 7, 8, and we're going to finish off with 5, 8, 5, 8. So play it through once with me, slow motion. 2, 3, 4. And you'll notice my fingers actually are numbered as well. Try and use the same finger combination that I'm using as well. It's going to help you get around the scale a bit easier. Of course, you can sort of bend the rules a bit later with maybe using the third finger for a double stop or a bend. So there is exceptions obviously to the rule. And you've just learned position number 1 of the minor blues scale. There is a second position too. We'll get to that later. We first want to get this one done. Now, just to give some examples, first of all, of people that have used the minor blues scale. I'm sure you know Eric Clapton's Sunshine of Your Love from old Cream days, which is going to sound something like this. And if you look at your tab, you'll actually see that I've tabbed it out there for you on your PDF. It's the part that starts with a double 7, 5, 7 on the 4th string. And then it goes to the 5th string, 7, 6, 5, and it finishes off 5, 8, 5. So slow motion, that entire riff. Try it with me. 2, 3, 4, and it simply repeats. Now obviously it's not in the same key as the original. I just wanted to show how it relates to the scale, how the riff relates to the actual minor blues scale. If you want to play the original, simply slide it up to fret number 7, crank your overdrive on, and you've got pretty much. Then later he brings in some dominant 7th chords and some pretty cool stuff, but that's not for now. Okay. Now, you'll also notice on the riff as well that 2 of the notes are in bold. There's a 6 over here and there's an 8 over there also in bold. That 6 and 8 is what gives the minor blues scale its characteristic. In other words, its tonality or its sound. It's what changes the pentatonic, which I'm sure you know by now. This is the pentatonic as a quick revision. And here's your blues scale. Minor blues note. Minor blues note. Otherwise you could agree, or hopefully agree rather, that the scales would be the same. So what is separating the minor pentatonic from the minor blues scale is this note and that note, which happens to be the flattened 5th note. We're not going to get too much into theory about flattened 5ths, what it means and things like that. We want to learn the scale and get application for the whole thing. Okay. Now just some tips as well, by the way. When you're doing a solo, try not to stop on this note. You can see it gives quite a nice little passing note. So as a leading note, it works quite nicely. Same as this note here. Instead of going, sounds quite nice with a little extra. Don't stop in it. You can feel it sort of wants to go somewhere. It needs a sort of a resolution. You can hear it wants to go somewhere. So your minor blues note, generally not a good stopping note. Okay. So passing notes, passing note, passing note, and it works quite well. Okay. Now with that said, we're going to break that rule and we're going to look at Gary Moore's Cold Day in Hell, which is actually played out of C sharp minor, so it's actually meant to be played over here. Like that. Okay. And obviously a little bit of overdrive gives a bit more aggression to it. And let's just have a look at the riff, and we're first going to take it back down to A minor over here. Okay, so we're going to see how that riff relates to your scale. You've learnt the scale. We saw Eric Clapton's Sunshine of Your Love fitted into it, and now we're going to see how Cold Day in Hell also fits into it. Starts with a quick slide, and then we end on that note there. Now let's just break it down quick. Nice little slide from the 5 to the 7. I didn't write the 5 down because you don't really want to hear this note. It's a very quick slide, so you don't really hear the starting note. If I did it from the 4 or from the 6, it's more the effect of the slide. Onto the 3rd string, going to go 5, 7, and then a very quick group of 4 notes like that. And what's happening there, it's a pull off from the 8 to the 7 to the 5, and you end up on the 7 on the 4th string like that. And then after that you're going to go 2 quick notes, 5 and 7, and now we actually are going to end on the minor blues note. So this is one of the rare exceptions where targeting the minor blues note actually did work, and it sounds quite nice. So if you want to hear it in action, Gary Moore's song Cold Day in Hell, you can hear it happening there. Like I said, his version is from C sharp minor, fret number 9. We're demonstrating from number 5 because that's where we're learning your scale from. Remember, the scales are transposable. In other words, you can move them. So if this is a minor blues scale from fret number 5, if I take it up 2 frets, that note's B. Now I've got B minor blues scale. If I take it one more, that is C at fret number 8. Same shape. So your shape can be moved, pretty much the same concept as a bar chord. We can move scale shapes around. So we don't have to worry about different key. I don't have to learn a whole new shape. You simply move the shape you learned. Okay. Now getting back to this, what we've learned so far, quick review. We know that the minor blues scale is basically the minor pentatonic scale with added notes to it, and the notes added are that fret number 6 over here and fret number 8 over here. We call those notes flattened 5th notes. There is a reason for that. We're not going to go into it at length now. We want to play guitar. Okay. And just nice things you can do with it as well. Like I said, little slides. You can see it again. Nice little slide there. You can see it up close. So you can really have some fun with it. Nice little pull-offs there. Nice little hammer on there. Pull off. So you can really have fun with them as passing notes. That I think is the best way to keep in mind now. Now I'm going to turn a quick little backtrack. I'm first going to do it on clear guitar, then I'm going to do it on overdrive. It's Gary Moore's Still Got the Blues song, which is actually in the key of A minor, and you'll see how nicely this actually works with it now. Also, when you're doing a solo as well, try to keep it in pauses or in phrases in groups. So create silent gaps. Don't just keep playing, because quite often we get so excited while playing we don't get to take a break, and then it sounds quite boring. So we're going to take A quick solo over here. This is improvised. I did not rehearse this, so if there's a few bum notes, please don't go away, come back. Here we go. Here's the backtrack coming up now, and we're in business. You can see I started from there. Again. Nice little bend. Pause. There's that roll coming up. One more time. So you can play it fast like this, or slower. There's no sort of restriction on speed. There's your slide I was mentioning. Slide again. That sounds quite cool. Later we're going to do position 2, which has got the minor blues note there. And you go back to, and it sounds quite nice. So you're using combination of mainly position 1 and 2 for now, and then we're going to add a bit of overdrive. So I'm going to kick the back pickup, just switch from there to there because I felt like it, didn't have to. Overdrive on, same concept, and it works for this too. Check this out. Get those pauses. Nice little passing note coming into position 2. Passing note in position 2 as well. Passing note from position 2 to position 1. Maybe some palm damping over there. Combined with some nice ringing notes. It gives dimension to it, it gives carry to it. It doesn't have to be fast. It has to be slow as well sometimes, a lot of the time, because then when we do a bit of a fast run, it sort of makes it more special. Now, just quickly, before we say goodbye, I want to show you position number 2. It's also on the PDF. It's going to start at fret number 8. Read a bit of the theory. It's got exactly the same notes as position 1. It's going to start at 8, and again, watch my fingers. I'm actually going to start with finger number 1 this time. And it's going to go, there's my minor blue note. There's my other minor blue note. And my last minor blue note. So one more time, slow motion if you want to play it with. It's going to start at fret number 8, 10, 11. Next string. 7, 10, 7, 10 again on the 4th string. Now we're going to have that chromatic run with the minor blue going 7, 8, 9 onto the 2nd string, 8, 10, 8, 10, and we can add that last little 11 over here, minor blues note again. And you can hear it works quite well. Also, when you're soloing, don't feel that you have to go, if you're starting in position 1, that you have to stay there. You can go backwards and forwards. Later we'll look at position number 3, for example. And there's not a lot of positions, position 4 and we're not going in now. Our goal over here is to teach you positions 1 and 2. So you can play this now. And you can play this now. And you should be able to do quite a lot of soloing with that quite proficiently. So I'm going to finish up with one last jam. We'll start it in clear and just going to have some fun. Change the sound a little bit there. Bit more overdrive. that's all for now. Have a good week. Cheers.